Hi, everyone. Welcome. Oh, my goodness. I didn't know I was getting feedback here. Anyway, welcome to Coffee with Kim. I am so excited to be here today and excited for today's guest. If you are someone who you're a yes person, you say yes to everything and everyone, and then people are telling you, to have to start saying no. But are you that someone who says yes to everyone but doesn't say yes to yourself? Then today is the show for you. There we go. Today on Coffee with Kim, coming from Houston, Texas, is Michelle Edwards. Michelle is a wife, mother, grandmother, geologist, and mentor. As a trained scientist, Michelle thrives on the mysteries of our Earth. She has now evolved her passions to a philosophy of get to yes. Now developing programs that guide women to get to their own personal yes in fitness, relationships, leadership, and mindset. Grounded in the foundation of her faith and family, Michelle has become a champion for empowering women in their life's pursuits. Michelle, welcome to Coffee with Kim. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Oh my gosh, I've been so looking forward to this. You and I connected, gosh, what is it, about 6, 7 months ago?
Even more,
And
yeah.
or even more than that now, yeah. And it has just, there's those people in life that you just connect with, right? And that's kind of what Coffee with Kim, is all about, is people being able to convey what they do, be celebrated, and connect with people. But the fun thing for me is when I really get to connect with someone like you.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we were fast friends. The minute we started talking, we had so much in common. We're both strong women. We've both fought to get what we wanted in life, and we both are such compassionate and have such big healer hearts inside of us that it
Yeah.
was a quick friendship.
Yeah, for sure. So everyone, Michelle, I want you to take just a few minutes and I want you to kind of share your story.
Absolutely. I would love to share my story. So many of you know me by day. I'm a geologist scientist and I help empower all my scientists to do really well in life. But I also have another part of my story. About a year ago, I started into this new adventure working on helping people to get their yes, whether it's yes in fitness, whether it's yes in relationships. Because how many times can you look back when you've been dating or even friendships where maybe you invested in the wrong person because you didn't lead with what you wanted, or you stuck with a relationship too long and it wasn't right for you. So the key is to find your yes in everything, and ask for it and lead with it and lead with that confidence. I have an amazing story about my favorite yes, if I can tell my favorite story.
Yes, because I mean, getting to yes is a powerful, concept in philosophy. So I really do want you to go into a story and kind of explain what this philosophy really is about.
Right. So I've always been I never took the easy road. I was always the only girl in the room or the woman in the room. I chose a profession that was all male dominated. So about 7 years ago, I had a great job. I was working for a small oil and gas company. And my boss came to me and he's like, Michelle, I got something to tell you. I'm moving back to Dallas. I've told him that you should be the exploration manager. You have everything that it takes. And if they don't, I think you need to think about where your career is going. So I said, okay. So I thought, okay, well, he's telling me something. I'm probably not going to get this promotion that I deserved. So I started my job search and I got an interview with one of the big oil companies. And they called me and said, the format of the interview is a 30-minute presentation. Tell us about you, your professional career, whatever you want. So I thought, well, this is easy. I got this. So they brought me to the room. There was 6 men at the table, all with books. And I thought, okay, I got this. So I started my presentation and I looked at all 6 men sitting at the table and I said, okay, the first thing you need to know about me is the answer is always yes. You may not start with yes, but the answer is yes. And I went on to tell my story about being a single mother of 3, about all my academic and professional, great things that I did, and training to be a triathlon and a bodybuilder and all that, despite the fact that I didn't know what was trapped inside of me. So of course I finished my presentation and they asked all the questions and they all said, we know the answer is yes. And then they would ask me the question. So before I was even out of the parking garage, the HR person called me and said, don't take another job. We'll call you in the morning. And she called me and she said, guess what? All 6 of those men have a position on their team in different parts of the company. They all want you. So if you decide we're a fit, come, you get to decide who you go work for. I was like, oh my gosh, wow.
Wow. Okay, I'm getting chills, and that something's really impactful when I get chills from the head to toe, and that gave me chills.
Because it was bold, and and I thought about it. It was the night before I didn't sleep well because I thought, do I really do this? I thought, I've got a job. I wanted to put my best foot forward. I wanted them to know no matter what that I would work hard and that I would, whatever idea it was, I would believe in it and I would fight for it. The other part of my story is that my other job, in the end, I didn't get promoted. And I thought, well, I could sit here and I could be angry, but I knew I needed to be an example for my girls. I needed to show them that when life doesn't deal you the right thing at the right moment, and it's not going to get better, you don't sit and take it. You change your situation and you make your way. And that's what I did. It was one of the best decisions. I don't know if it was karma, but the other company didn't survive. Part of it, I think, was because they didn't have me making decisions for them. But I also think it was karma. I think the fact I was not promoted because I wasn't a friend of the board and I wasn't a man. It was time to do something else. It's a great story. And I think that's what helped me look at my life and look at all the times that I really asked for yes in the right place. I really, whether it's in health where I'm making decisions and I really want to do the right thing. I really want to be healthy. So I make those choices based on that. And I lead with that yes.
So what made you even go into that meeting and have that philosophy? I mean, is this something that goes back even before that story? Was that your first yes, or did it go back before that?
I think that was probably my most confident yes. I think that was the point where I really knew my career. I knew I was really good at what I did, and I led with that. I think that anybody that knows me knows I've had a lot of false starts in relationships, and I can tell you every one of those, I compromised my gut, and I didn't really ask for what I knew was best. I didn't ask for that perfect person. I forgot what were the things I must have, and I finally did that 7 years ago, and I met the most amazing man in the world that completes me. I was convinced that I probably was good. I can do everything, right? Yeah. And he completes me. But I led with yes. I led with that confidence. And I told him, I said, before we even first dated, I said, you know what? I'm high maintenance. I'm high energy. And if that's not you, I may not be the one for you. And he says, I got this. And he came in with the same confidence, the same yes. And it's been the best journey. And that's what I want for everybody. I want people to really look and really develop a mindset of self-worth, positive self-talk, because we're all so very terrible about that.
Yep.
Mel Robbins talks about every time you walk past a mirror, high five yourself. Look at yourself and say, you got this. You're awesome. What a great idea. Who does that? Instead, you're going, my makeup isn't perfect. I wish my hair was a little thicker, a little fuller. And you don't give yourself that love that you give others. You think about those friends that are struggling. Would you tell them, geez, you look terrible today? Or would you say, you know what? You look great. I love that outfit, or whatever it is. You need to do that for yourself too.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I've been, watching you obviously on Facebook, and we get done with you and I both, we get done with our masterclass together with Joel. And it was like, I went this route, and then I started watching you on Facebook and this whole journey. And so talk a little bit about this journey, because if you haven't, when you get off this, if you don't know Michelle already, get on her Facebook, because I'm telling you right now, you want to see this journey. It's incredible.
It was something that came to me. So, right, we graduated from masterclass together, and I'm trying to figure out, how do I help people develop a better mindset, be
Mhm.
positive, especially women like me that it hasn't been easy. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I thought, I need to start with health and fitness, because if you don't have that in your heart, you don't have that strong foundation, you can't go anywhere. So I had been super, super fit, and I kind of made health maybe my second choice and started making some bad decisions. I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get healthy. And I thought, what better way to do it than on Facebook? I will have the most amazing support system. I
Yeah.
can teach them some things that I learned. I didn't, I grew up with, it was just my dad and I. My mom left when I was 6. He was that high energy construction type worker. So his idea of a breakfast was hot dish, and so I didn't know that I didn't need those calories because I wasn't that person.
Yeah.
So I went through my whole life not knowing. And I met a bodybuilder, and he came into my life at exactly the right time. He taught me and my girls and my son about how to eat healthy, how to work out. I worked out, but I didn't know how. I didn't realize that so many of the food choices I made were the wrong ones. And I really learned, and I'm a scientist, so I love to dig in to the details and figure out, how does this work? Like, I've been doing research for the modules that I'm creating. I'm going to develop a program that if you sign up, hopefully I'll be done, hopefully sometime this summer, you will every day get my day one of my fitness journey as a video. So you're going to see my days. You're going to see how I have good days. You're going to see how I have bad days. And that's going to come to you every day.
You have been so transparent. You flat out. Was it yesterday, or the day before? You were saying, I didn't make good choices today, but that's
No.
okay. But that's okay.
Yeah. And my message is eat the cookie. Eat the cookie, just don't eat the whole jar. Enjoy that moment and move on. But a lot of
Yeah.
times you think, oh, I'll start my diet on Monday. Well, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And as I do more and more research, there is so much that you find in foods, especially micronutrients. Micronutrients are so very tiny. And there's so much research that shows that certain combinations help with cancer. They help with diabetes. They do some
Wow.
amazing things. And we're not taught that. Nobody teaches that in school.
I
They
can't
just,
wait. I can't
it's
wait to
that
sign
cheap,
up.
yeah, it's that cheap lunch. And, I remember in health class, they might have shown some strange vegetables or something, but I never learned how good these things are for you. So that's some of the research I'm doing. Going to have modules on habits. Why do we have the habits that we have? What are the triggers? And if you don't replace those habits with something that's healthy, you'll continue down that same thing. And your trigger may have nothing to do with what you think it has. It
And I
could
think
be just seeing something. It could be an emotion that you need to deal with so that you don't have that habit and you don't, allow that trigger to take over your life. So
I
those are the kind of things that I want to teach. We're writing a book that we've got a mentor. We're halfway through the book, so that'll come out this summer. So some of the things that are in the modules will also be in my book, which I think
okay.
is super exciting. We got a workbook to go with it. So as you go through it and you learn some things about yourself, we'll help you through your own journey. And then we're also going to have a VIP group. So because everybody likes community, everybody likes a tribe, right? Because
Yes.
that's why I love my Facebook family. There's so many of you that I just adore. Every day that you send me a message or you write out there saying, I took those extra steps today. Or, I walked away from that bad food choice because I saw you doing it and you living that life. That propels you through everything, knowing you have that support. So we'll create a VIP community as well, that we can do this together and keep learning together.
Oh, I love it because I know, right? Everyone talks about the COVID-15. Well, I think mine was way more than COVID-15. But in this last, I'm, back now to Vegas, from being in Texas, but I lost 20 pounds being there.
Yeah.
And coming back is starting to it's starting to come back on again. I'm like, okay, got to make some new choices.
And it's, one healthy choice at a time, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be, if it's difficult, if you get rid of all the sugar in your life or you get rid of all the desserts in your life, you think about it. You think about it all the time, and it takes over, and it's not something you're going to be able to do. So one healthy choice at a time. It's okay to have some of it. You pick your battles, just like your kids. You pick your battles.
You do. And I like how you said the emotion, though, because I know at one point in my life, I had a health crisis. And I'm telling you, I love that you've chosen this, because without your health, everything else falls after that, right?
Right.
All the emotion, all the, the crisis and things. But that, having my health, that was like number one. But the weight, it can creep up, and we're more sedentary, where we're sitting more often than we
Yeah.
are moving. And I think that was the biggest difference for me, right? I've been on, webinars, I've been on calls, I've been, doing work, and I did not get up and move enough.
Yeah.
So, even with some of the stuff that I'm doing personally with some courses and books and stuff, I'm saying you've got to be moving more. And it helps with the emotion, because my cortisol levels were like off the charts. And no matter what choices I would make, that impacts it, right?
Yeah. Stress will do everything. Stress is a horrible thing, and we have to learn to let that go. And I think that was that epiphany. It was like, I wanted to coach people, I wanted to help them, but really that you got to start with the core, and then to keep that mindset so that you stay healthy. Because if you don't change your mindset and you don't see the gifts and the good choices that you're making, then you're going to go right back eventually. Maybe not right away, but eventually you'll go back to that, and you'll lose that feeling. You forget how great it feels, like you said, to be able to move, to be able to chase your grandchildren. The last thing I want is not to be able to be there, because I'm not fit enough to be there.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I was chasing around, a couple 2-year-olds, and then these new babies coming. And it really did, right? When I first got there, going up and down the stairs several times a day and chasing, I got tired. I got exhausted, and I started feeling it in my body. And I was like, wow, that was another wake-up call for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm grateful that I'm a young grandma. My grandma name is G-Lo. I'm grandma on the down low. So the kids call me G-Lo.
I love that. Mine calls me Mima. or Mama or something like that. So I'm just letting them do whatever
they want to call you,
want.
as long as they call you.
Yeah. I love it. I have to say, I do love it when people come on and they say hello, they, ask questions, so I do want to encourage you, if you are watching. The reason why I do this live, and I have my guests who love to be live, is because if you have questions, please ask questions and we will show them. If you just go to StreamYard and click on the link, and it lets you say, it can show who you are. And so we always appreciate that quite a bit. So anything else you would like to share with us on this new fun journey? And now talk about a little bit about being a scientist and a geologist, because I'm such a nerd. I like, me, I have rocks and crystals all over my desk. I'm a rock hound, my husband calls me.
And I think that's one of the coolest things about the career that I chose, was because it's like being a detective, because you never know anything for sure. So you're always looking for clues, whether it's looking at rocks and seeing what kind of minerals are in them. And then you think, okay, well, how did they form? I'm a petroleum geologist, so I look for oil and gas. So that's always exciting. You hope you're right, and you put everything together, and then all of a sudden you get another piece and you rethink it. It's an amazing thing. It's been a tough ride because it's energy. The oil and gas business is never steady. So you're always like, okay, what's going to happen this time?
Yeah.
But it's also exciting. It's like gambling, because you put your money on the things that you think are really right, and you just wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Is that pressure though, a little bit too?
Oh, for sure. But like I tell a lot of my young people, as long as you can say, these are the things that I know, these are the things I don't know, these are the things that could hurt us. You have to believe in you, and you have to believe in your ability to compile and think logically. A lot of the young people think they're afraid that things like QI and some of the machine learning is going to replace people like us, scientists like us, but it never will, because there's so much that goes into it. There's intuition, there's feelings, and there's extra factors that a computer can't. But it does allow you to visualize things differently. It allows you to put different parameters together, go, oh, maybe that does have an effect. Now let's go look at that. It may have nothing to do with it. It may just be numbers. But it definitely has opened things up to be very, very, very different.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Things like seeing the geology of Mars. I watched a virtual field trip the other night where they showed, what the rovers are finding. I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to go do geology on Mars or the moon or wherever. And unfortunately, my family didn't think that was a good idea. But I'd still get on. Elon Musk calls and says, I got a seat for you. I'm in. I'm going. Sorry, kids.
Wow. No, I wanted to be an astronaut too. I was literally all into this space stuff when the challenge. Oh, yeah. I very much was a part of that. So, in fact, some of my fun webinars that I'm putting together involve some of that. So,
that'll be fun.
Yeah,
I would love to help. So let me know if there's anything I can help with.
Yeah, no, and my son Brad, he's been following all that Mars stuff too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's super fun. Well,
Dream
Michelle,
come true.
Right? It truly is. Oh, Michelle, and you know what? I was watching you talk about that part of your work.
Mm-hmm.
But everything that you were saying, I can see now what an easy shift it is for you to also have this passion to do what you're doing to help everyone else. Because everything that you were saying, if you go back and rewatch this, it literally aligns beautifully with what you're doing as well.
Yeah, and I love to see people succeed. So there's a lot of times, like I described, where you're uncomfortable. So there's a lot of times I coach my young people through those moments, and getting your yes. As geologists, we're the ones that are in love with things. We're the romantics. The engineers are like, okay, let me just figure out how much it's going to cost. What do I think I'm going to get? And we're the romantic ones, and we're like the what ifs. And you really have to be clear with your message, and you have to be confident, or they'll just run you over and your ideas are just a flat slide in a PowerPoint. So I've spent a lot of my life helping people through those things and being able to communicate and having that good mindset, because it's not easy. Some days you come in and you're like, I don't know. I'll never forget, I was mentoring a young geologist, and I told him, I said, one day you'll come in and you'll look at what you interpreted, your maps from the day before, and you're going to go, I don't see it. And you're going to delete it and start over. And he looked at me and goes, no, I would never do that. I said, no, you will. And I said, you will know you've arrived when you come in and you go, I need a blank slate. If it was meant to be, I'll see it again. And he'd been working for me about 6 weeks, and he came in and he says, Michelle, I sent you that PowerPoint. He says, don't look at it. I got to start over. And I said, okay, good for you. Number one, you told me you were comfortable enough to tell me that you weren't very happy with the product the more you thought about it, and you're going to go back and do it again. And he did great. But it was having that ability to communicate and to think that was really critical.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for sharing all this with us. How can people get a hold of you?
Absolutely. My email's across the bottom. Michelle at bluedogexcellence.com. Send me an email. We're working on that book that'll come out this summer on the fitness journey. We have another one that talks about getting your yes kind of through, and it shares my story, my story through time and all the things that I learned that hopefully you won't have to learn the hard way like I did. Hopefully I can coach you through some of that, and you won't have to do what I did. And also, please friend me on Facebook. It's Michelle Gilo Edwards. And friend me and follow me. I'm on day 94. So come on along. And like I said, this summer, we're going to launch the program, and you'll be able to start from day one. But day 94, 95 doesn't matter. I always have something to share.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Um, Okie dokie here. Michelle, anything else? One last word or anything?
Just want to say, go get your yes. And remember, nothing tastes as good as fitness feels. Get moving in honor of somebody who can't move like you can, and just be really confident and high five yourself.
Good. I was going to ask you to say that because I was like, I didn't want to say it for you, but I love how you say that. So say it one more time.
Remember,
Nothing.
nothing tastes as good as fitness feels.
Yeah, it's true. All right, everyone. We're going to conclude today's Coffee with Kim. Just such an honor to have Michelle here with us. As you can see, it's okay to say yes, and saying yes to yourself is the best yes you can make. Hi, guys. Have a great day.